Gotham investigations. They say money can't buy you love, but it could sure buy you a lot of pain, grief, and suffering, unless your child in common paternity partner will not give in and wants a soul and identity for herself. You're going to meet that woman in this episode. Gotham Investigations. I'm Jeff Giordano. We are here in Sarasota with a previous client, Susanna. Susanna, welcome to the Scorned Woman of Miami season.
What did you just say?
Scorned Woman of Miami season. The Scorned Woman. That is you. Do you remember the Scorned Woman that you were when you hired me with Gotham Investigations?
I don't even understand what you mean scorn, but...
In other words, you were in a relationship with a paternal parent.
Yeah.
You weren't married, but you have how many children in common?
Two.
Two children in common, and that turned out to be a disaster throughout the separation part and everything.
Yes.
And when did you first reach out to Gotham Investigations?
Oh, I remember. It was April 2019. It's after... I don't want to mention father of the kid's name. I can call him fucker, obviously, because that's exactly what he done.
And I understand the court case is still going on, and that's why you don't want to mention his name.
Yes.
So we'll refer to him as fucker, if that's what you would like to refer to him for.
Yeah, 2019, he definitely was a fucker. April, you know? We have a big progression from this moment. I thought that I was abused until I actually went to the court. And that's where I understood that everything what was before, I probably got spoiled.
So we're talking about a very wealthy man.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And how wealthy, more or less, are we talking about, if without getting into his identity or who he is?
How people would like to say shitloaded of money. Generation of wealth. Yes, he is wealthy. He is generation of wealth. He's a big guy, big boss, very powerful. And we were living together for 4 years, 2 kids. And I got him cheating on me. And I realized that, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore.
How did you meet?
We met in Rome. It was super romantic. It never was like people would say, like, you got him for the money. No, he's very low-key. You will not find him on the internet. He was romantic. He was tremendous. It was Rome. I felt in love in the way he was treating me at the beginning. But, you don't understand that you are abused until... Because abuse don't start from the beginning. It's super sweet. It's a gaslight. When person brings you in his life where you mean a lot, but at the same time, who I was. Paternity, who this person is.
You didn't have your own identity, in other words. You were just there to live and breathe.
To please the guy, yeah, We literally, when judge sent us to co-parenting classes, he literally mentioned, I can hire chauffeur, I can hire chef, I can hire bodyguards. She's just there to please me. And the guy said, so she's just a furniture. He said, yeah.
Kind of like a piece of meat in the Publix aisle, in the frozen meat section.
Yes, yeah.
That's what you were kind of like identified.
Yes,
of.
Yeah.
And your background is you're Russian, correct?
Oh, yes, I am.
And when did you first start feeling the abuse from your husband? When did you identify, like, this is not the route I want to be, just a nobody type of thing? He's ignoring me now. The romance is kind of like going off the hill a little bit.
It always was from his side some tremendous jealousy. First, he took my country. He took me away from my country where I was happy. He brought me in the United States. And we were together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I haven't any friends, no friends at all. And I gave birth to the first kid. I got pregnant straight away, and we were always traveling. It was, no, people would think that this is a dream life where you can travel 3 days here, like Fiji, Bahamas, St. Martin. But it wasn't. You basically, you have a feeling that, yeah, you're traveling, you see the world, but like there is nothing to take from this world. It's just him all the time, no friends. This is the first what's happening, like, this is the abuse, when you have no friends and no life besides your partner. And you are there literally all the time, just together.
Well, sometimes you could have the right partner, and kind of like you don't want to leave the side of that person.
Yeah, but you can have friends, you can have a social life, not just like living in a gold cage. It's still cage.
So you kind of felt confined, that he wouldn't let you have a friend. He wouldn't let you talk to people.
He was always jealous.
He wouldn't let you join a class for education or anything like that. He just wanted you to be with the kids, and the only other person you could be with would be him.
Yes, kids and him.
And
no friends.
When did you find him cheating?
I found secret phone.
So he had a separate phone that he was using.
Yes. It's actually
How did you find it?
I never go to his office. It's in the house. But our younger child, we went there to play, and he was grabbing everything around. And, he just gave me the phone, and I thought it's one of the kids' phone, because mostly my ex, he's using kids' picture or me on the background, and it was just empty phone. So I literally opened, and the first what it was the messages with the prostitutes. Like, he was giving them rating, there was like, he was like picking like by the catalog, like I don't know, Uber Eats, something like this. He was giving messages. There was nothing but prostitutes. And I would happily like understand if that would be like a beautiful prostitute, like an escort from Miami, the girls you see, I don't know, at Mount Sinai, who's sitting there. You're like, yeah, I got it, of course. Like, I just gave birth. I look like hell. I don't pay attention on you because, like, I'm a breastfeeding. I have 2 little kids because, our kids, they have a very small gap between each other. I would understand, but even with all the mess with all the kids, Roger was having everything at home every single day. Because he put the pressure on me, guilt, a lot of guilt. He was blaming me that I'm a lesbian. He was blaming me that I don't pay attention. So I was giving even more. Because when you actually care about the person, and it's the father of your kids, you want to keep, like, the woman in the house, it's a mood. If the woman is happy, if the woman's trying to make everyone happy, everyone's happy. It's a mood. So I was trying to, like, work it out. Like, I didn't want it to give up. But when you see that, when you're going to the gym, like, because I mentioned before, we were 24 hours a day, 7 days a week together. You're going to the gym for 1 hour and 30 minutes, and that's the time when he's going outside of the house, fucking some trash, not even something beautiful, like some, I don't know, something very terrible from Southwest 184th Street, like a small bordel for a few bucks.
And how were you able to get into his phone?
It was open.
So he didn't have a passcode?
Nope.
He didn't have nothing?
Nope.
Because it was in his office. He thought it was safe.
Yeah.
And you hired Gotham at the time. And I remember you knew where he was at all times.
Yes. Best PI, by the way. No.
Well, not only that. But you were telling us where he was at. So what do you tell these women out there that they could do to find his location? And what did you have on his phone where there was no need to put a tracker? There was no need for a 24-hour surveillance.
Exactly.
You knew what he was doing all the time.
By the way, Apple,
which I don't even know why you hired us, but you did.
Oh, I did an amazing job. I remember. Yes, I did. I did a good job. You were great. No. The pictures you did. The most funniest part, it's when you paid for the bill.
So what happened was, in their custody case, they could not drink liquor when they were with the kids, and this was part. And just so everyone knows, no matter how much money you have, you don't want to give your money away. So it's not that you're turning evil into good. You're using the money to turn evil into to bad. So what I mean by that is nobody wants to give away 100% child support. So fathers, mothers, sometimes that don't even want the kids, they create this illusion that they want the kids just to try to get them, so they don't have to pay that.
Yeah.
So it becomes 50-50 and not 75.
Yeah.
25 or anything like that. So in this particular instance, it was in the court order that he couldn't drink, you couldn't drink with the kids. So we followed him, I remember, to Monty Trainers, and and he wasn't even with the kids. He went to sit at another table. The nanny was there, the driver was there, and they were sitting there eating, and he was at another table drinking, not even paying attention to the kids. And we had this several times where, you want to be with your kids on your days, you should spend time with your kids.
Yeah.
So what we did was he was drinking several scotches, then he came back to the table and he ate. So it's one thing having pictures, but we told the waitress that we were friends of him and from his work. He didn't recognize us, he doesn't know us, and we would like to pay his bill.
That's genius.
So we had not only the photographs of the burger, the whiskeys, we had the bills showing the black label that was being drank, the other vodka at the table glass, as well as each picture of the food when he got up and left, what was left on the table that identified to the receipt. So that was a pretty good hit on your side to him. And you didn't. Yes. You were relentless. You would not give up your fight for your kids. And you're still involved in the fight, but back then, it was a fight where he was degrading you.
I have a final amendment petition, and we signed it outside of the court. It's confidential. That's why I can't mention his name. He was a mess. He was absolutely, like the beginning, he was so frustrated. And I believe that we settled only because of those pictures, because he was scared. Because you never know what you're going to receive in a court. Like a lot of people literally fighting.
And plus, you could have opened up a website. You could have gone viral. You could have put it all over your Facebook. So he had to come to a conclusion that he didn't want his name out there because of his prestige of who he was.
Yes, yes.
And that's a sensational story. And I remember you said one time you called me and you said he's getting a prostitute tonight. And he's going to this place, which was some kind of third world country bar. Like you said, it's not like he's going to a 5-star restaurant meeting some 5 or 10-star prostitute.
Oh yeah.
So
I got literally bills from the cheapest motels, and I was like, dude, like you gotta get the disease from the mattress more than from the prostitute. Like seriously, like pay for somebody gorgeous.
Sure. And the funny thing was, we followed him to this restaurant, and he came out with a little. I want to say how in the police we would call it a go bag, when you have to get called in on a hostage call or something, or you have a little go bag ready to go with your materials in there and stuff like that. But he had a little go bag with his, I want to say, dildos and sex toys and stuff in it. That Can you explain a little bit about that and what was in that bag that you found out?
It was his like BDSM toys. I mean, obviously,
But what kind of toys are we talking about?
I think there was a whip for sure, mask for sure, and some other toys. But it's hard to remember. Well, who used to know that he was so kinky? He picked the wrong woman.
Well, actually, we followed him into this restaurant, and it was kind of weird because he walked into this restaurant and then. He was a ghost. He just disappeared inside with his little bag of tricks. And I was sitting down, and I remember people come to the table. Of course, a Spanish bar and stuff like that. I kind of stuck out like a turd in a punch bowl there, and I didn't have a Spanish PI. Well, I did have a Spanish PI with me, but he came in and we had some drinks. But we were looking for him, and we were astonished. We took pictures of the back. We were looking next door at maybe they have like I don't want to say a screw place that they would go. Obviously, there was a room that they would take them to, and we couldn't get in to go upstairs or anything like that, or go back by the kitchen that they had to have a little room in. But you could tell what kind of bar it was because you would have all these third world country girls coming up, and then they would like, "Will you buy me a drink?" And you're like, "Buy you a drink? You're my waitress. Why would I buy you a drink?" And that's a normal thing in Miami when these prostitutes are solicited in a location, but ugly, ugly, ugly. And like you said, you have a better chance of catching something just getting on wherever he was taken to do his sex acts. It was just an incredible degrading for you, a degrading thing, because we had to report back to you and say this is pretty disgusting where he's going.
Yes, and Miami, it's a very dirty place. I mean, even by the statistic, there's people with HIV. Like, okay, it doesn't matter how much you like the person. I was scared.
So you found this out. We followed him to this place. We take pictures of his bag of tricks in his hand. You know what's in the bag because you've seen it there. So we know what he's going in there for. Did you still have sex with him after that night? And if so, was it like torture for you, or what was it?
No, we weren't living together at those moments. I was already at Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah, I remember you were staying at the Ritz-Carlton in Coconut Grove at the time.
Yes.
But he would still come and see you sometimes with the kids and that. He never reached out to you, try to say, hey, let's reconcile, let's have a little sex.
Yeah. Oh, yes. He absolutely did.
Did you ever fall for it, or you just X'd him out at that point?
No. Our relationship were tremendous broken. It's when I think you need to have some like sexual desire to your partner, but it was too broken. If I was happy to talk to him, he's absolutely interesting person. He's educated, he's smart, but his preferences in sex life, it's just disgusting.
And what would he, before that, what would he, like, would he make you do things in the bedroom with a mask, a whip?
Oh, no. People like, no.
Don't be shy. I mean,
no.
This is just, we're educating our women out there.
I will happily tell about this stuff. When I met him, I was 26 years old. He brought me in his boat in Italy, and he did show me his toys. But at 26 years old, when you're a woman, you still want to have a nice, pure sex. You are not involved in toys. You think, my first idea was like, do you need like a person like for sex toys, or you want just the person? So I said no, and we ended up in a very, very boring sex in one position. That's everything what he likes, and it was horrible. Like, my sex life was horrible, and I just came to conclusion, okay, it's just like whatever, like 9-10 minutes a day, but it was consistently every fucking single day, and it was disaster. And he was beating me during sex. It was only time when he was beating me. And you just like going along, because I got pregnant straight away after we met.
So when you say beating you.
Beating me, yeah.
Can you like do a little demo here?
Oh, no. Like with a fist in your back. At the beginning, it was in my head, and I got tremendous.
So I take it the position you were talking about is doggy style then?
No, it wasn't the doggy style. It was he used to love to put me on my belly, so I would just not move. He used to love to put the pillow on my head, don't see my face, and fuck me. And when he needs,
suffocate you, in other words,
yeah,
during sex.
Yes. I hate to remember this, but yeah.
So you that really kind of put your spirits low when that was happening. And when you say punch you in the back with a closed fist,
yeah,
was that as he was going to have an orgasm, or when you were going to have an orgasm?
He was having orgasm when he was beating me. That's when he could able to come. So it was 4 years of this disaster. And
do you have any permanent scars on your back from this, or
no? Was
it just black and blue marks that went away?
Yes.
And what people don't realize is black and blue marks can go away, but the emotional distress that you went through does not go away. That's something that sticks in your head.
I think he got spoiled with those crazy sex before, and he just needed something more violent, more sadistic, more violent. And that's how you ended up in those horrible sex. But at the same time, when you were like already screaming, I can't, he would turn into nicest person ever. Like, oh my God, I'm sorry, why you never mentioned? And you feel kind of guilty that you're freaking out like a crazy bitch. But that's how they're manipulating you. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I just like overplayed. That's why I mentioned at the beginning, it starts as a game, but it's never a game. And if it's not the fucking crazy sex, then, Americans, I hate to say, they love involve the third person. If your husband is not cheating or boyfriend on you, then they're involving attorney. If it's not attorney, this is the therapist. If it's not therapist, but Americans, they cannot do it. They need the third person in the relationship.
And who was he trying to bring in? The attorney?
Attorneys, PIs. I got
Well, it
twice.
wasn't this PI. I just want to make that clear out there to our viewers. He didn't even know me. He never even met me. So he had a PI, though.
Oh, yes.
And he tried to bring the other PI. And I'm surprised you didn't go for it to get more intel or information there on it.
What information? That I'm going to school, that I'm a good mother, that I'm not drinking.
And his PI, by the way, was probably making a lot more money than I was.
Yes. I got you, Chip.
And that's a fact for sure, because I'm sure he shelled out the money there.
And this is the plus to you. You never overcharged. You did the job great, and you did it better.
Yeah,
and you
those were the good old days that we didn't overcharge. I mean, I don't want our viewers to get misled here whatsoever. Those billing days have changed quite a bit here.
Oh yeah.
But we do seriously take a look after our clients, and if we see they're going through a bad settlement with the kids or a divorce, and we see that they just don't have the money to continue it, and we believe in their journey, we believe in their story. It's not all about money, because I have a full pension, luckily, with the police department. You were referred by another friend.
Yes.
Actually is from another episode. And you guys lead to great referrals. And as you mentioned, what you thought was a horrible, worst story ever, when you started going to court and meeting some other women.
Oh, yeah. That's the most interesting part. If you ever heard about what I just said, like horrible sex, drinking, actually, I'm a happy case. That's what I would like to mention, because I thought that my life is disaster. My ex is disaster. It's a mess. And then you're going to the courtroom. You're crying because everything what I said, it is abuse, obviously. And then the woman is asking, why are you crying? I said, well, because my life is horrible. We're getting separated. The kids will never, grow up in a full family, because my idea was that we will somehow work it out and we will be the happy family. Because besides those horrible moments, we were actually happy. And the woman said, is he a pedophile? And she said, and then, of course, I said, what do you mean, pedophile? Of course not. He said, is he beating the kids? I said, no, it was just me. She said, so why are you fucking crying? And I met a lot of women in the court in Miami-Dade, and you will read the files, and it's not just a woman who pointed out that her ex is molesting the child. This is the professionals from DCF with reports that there is some toys found in the kids, genitals, the kid is crying, and guess what? Who's getting the custody? Pedophiles. Yeah. Sometimes I think that, you have to be an abuser, a pedophile, a narcissist, a bully, and you will get 100% custody, because that's what's meant to be a good parent in Miami-Dade.
So you found out that there was a lot of worse stories out there than yours. So that kind of gave you a little support system to say, hey, if they're going through this and I'm going through this, now your situation somehow seemed manageable.
Not just manageable. I realized that my ex, he's the best human being. I would like to point it out. I just got the surgery 4 weeks ago. My ligaments. No, you can't.
Okay. She's got a nice scar there. So,
yes, I'm still, actually using my brace. I just didn't want it to,
We'll get a camera shot after.
Yes.
So now he was a nice human being, and he took you for the surgery.
He came from Miami with the kids, took me to a hospital, stayed there all through the surgery. And, he was spending time with me after surgery. My ex right now, he is a good father, actually. He is not drinking. He's sitting with kids. I used to cry because I was all alone. I was going to the birthday parties alone. I was taking kids alone. And he was bored. He even told me, I'm bored. And I said, how you can be bored? You have me, who's much younger. You have gorgeous kids and you are still bored. Right now, he is the best. I mean, seriously. He is the best dad ever. He's not drinking. He's a good, I feel, that it was, even we're still in the courtroom, he changed so much. So I have to give him credit for this.
So sometimes it takes someone's world to be rocked to realize what they had and what they're losing to finally straighten out their life and go in the right direction. But you're still involved in the court battle. So
He likes to abuse me through the courtroom to show his power. The sadism never left. Don't get me wrong. He's just using the court system right now.
And now you're in the Sarasota area and you're going to school and you're studying what?
Virtual reality. And it's very funny, but Roger, he was the one who supported my idea for England College. He came, he gave me a recommendation letter. And right now, all schools, the best schools are private. And receive a letter from somebody like my ex, it means a lot because people see the fucker. People see the fucker like a god. Because, this is the powerful man. So when you're receiving a recommendation letter from him, all doors are opening for you. That's my ex.
And I remember to get through your situation, attorney's fees, you sold your jewelry, and I connected you with somebody there. And it's amazing connections that are made through Gotham and through you as well. You introducing me to clients and stuff like that.
You did help me a lot. Because at the beginning, you don't have a child support. When I left my ex, I left with 2 kids. And you would have think that such a rich guy would, support you somehow. Luciana, who introduced me to you, she took me with 2 little kids in her small apartment.
I remember that, yes. She was a client of ours as well. And then when I took you to the jewelry place, I remember you were having trouble with the attorney's bill. You said, well, I have all this jewelry, I want to sell it. And I was like, in my head, I was like, well, shoot, that could also be used to pay PI bills. So, of course, I took you to a proper jeweler, and his name was
Abda, and we're still
a great
friends.
guy, and he's also a great friend with mine. And through him, you were introduced to another client that we had done some work for previously in his law firm. And
Michael, I adore you. I love you. You're my best friend until these days. You gave me actually best people.
Say the word of who he was and who he is. There's actually a reality show that they had of him, War of the Roses. This is the
real
true
War of the
War
Roses.
of the Roses. And
my dear friend.
She met him through the jeweler, and we done some work for him as well. And it was just an incredible connection that you guys had.
Yes. My first attorney bills, I sold a lot of jewelry, and that's how I paid my first attorney bills and other things, because I needed the money. I never got any settlement. It was, I haven't even idea about what the law means. I mean, I'm from another country. I'm with 2 little kids without no credit score. Can you imagine how Roger was? Because in my country, the credit score does not exist. So you would have think if you have the money, and I sold a lot of jewelry to Abda, so I would be able to pay even upfront for 6 months. But guess what? No, you need credit score.
It all boils down to your credit here in the United States. So I have a gift for you that I brought since our journey there. I actually wrote a book that I would like to give you, and it's The Mitigation of Mark Seavers, Till Death Do Us Part. This is an actual case where I was the mitigation specialist on, but it's a murder for hire where the husband hired somebody to murder his wife, and he's now sitting on death row.
What the fuck?
Well, I want you to have this. Not that that's going to happen to you, but
okay. Now I have to admit, my ex, the best human being, because he could have saved so much money just to fucking hire somebody to kill me. I mean, okay.
And thank God that didn't happen. But that just shows you the extent that some marriages go through when a separation is in view.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Gotham Investigations.
Jesus Christ.
Stay tuned for upcoming episodes of The Scorned Woman of Miami.
Scorned.
Are you a fan of our show? Do you like our show? Then comment, hit the like button, and subscribe, or you might be the next one we investigate.